challenges you faced on a show like this? I mean, you had multiple crews, different locations. What were some of the challenges you faced?
Well, I had a kind of an interesting job because I came to the X-Files because of David, because I worked with him on Playing God, and I was also his stylist. So when they got back from LA, or get back to LA from Vancouver, I did David and Gillian's clothes. So sometimes it was really tricky. Like, there was one really funny episode where we heard someone snoring, and it was Ed Asner. And it was Ed Asner and Lily Tomlin episode. And it was one of those really, really long, this is the day that sticks out for me the most. It was a really long shoot day. It was a night. It was a Friday. And then I think we wrapped it like noon, and I had to go shopping because Gillian had something happening to her on Monday, and I needed more multiples. So, but we were young, and it was like such family. I really want to give you Tina, the craft service girl. She's going to have some good stories too, and you'll love her. It was challenging sometimes, just getting all the work done that needed to be done on any given day. But we were all such a really well-oiled machine. It was kind of really great. It didn't really matter if there was a second unit or an insert. We were all together in on it. We always knew it was going to get done, and we had such a great crew. Tom Cummins was probably one of the best costumers I've ever worked with, ever, hands down. And everyone says that about him. So he was kind of my set partner, because I was also doing set. It was tricky, but boy, was it fun. And sometimes we'd be so tired that we'd be laughing so hard. I'd have to get a safety pin out, stick in my hand so I wouldn't laugh. I mean, we actually made fun. We had a lot of fun times, as hard as it was.
So you were doing on-set costuming and doing all the prep for the episodes as well?
Just for David and Gillian.
But that's a lot. I mean, usually you're an on-set costumer, you have the full wardrobe department.
Yeah, well, it is. But what it is what we would do is we would get the closets built up front. I would order 5 Hugo Boss suits that fit him great. In 8 different colors. So I was set for the season, and I had a lot of his shirts made at Anto or or off the rack. And same with her. So we were just, it was a front load kind of a show, because I don't really believe in, and thank God they didn't either, just wearing, I like repeats, I think repeating of ties and, some things. I just got off of a sitcom, and I was costume designing on it. They didn't really want to wear anything but the bottoms, and it was like, okay, so it was a lot of costumes when there's 5 changes a thing, but with us, we tried to, we did a lot of repeats, and you would just freshen stuff up, and it wasn't always a lot of work. It was that particular weekend because we worked so long, and I was up for the challenge. I was in my 30s. It was great. It was the best job I've probably ever had. Any job. I continued with David. I did Californication, and I did Aquarius, and I went off and did Evolution with him. We always made it a good time, and I had his size down. He didn't have to come in for fittings, because I would just measure the garments, and he'd just pop it on. It was kind of great. But yeah, so it was a little challenging and a little tricky. And I coordinated everything with the with the rest of the cast, what they were wearing. We were, like I said, it was just kind of a groove that we had, and I had a trust with David and Gillian that was kind of innate, and it just kind of worked for us with what we were doing.
Nice.
Well, they always look good. I always equate the Vancouver to the LA outfits because there's no shoulder pads.
A lot different. I'm very more tailor based, and I did the feature film too, the first feature film that was back here, and the second one, which with Billy Connolly, and we every day for lunch we would make up endangered species that were on the menu, like, oh, I'm going to have the fried pangolin, or are you having the penguin? I mean, we would laugh so hard. One day we were filming. Mine are kind of little, I'll just tell you this one. So I don't even know where we were. We were in the middle of California. I'm kind of near Fresno, and we were shooting in this abandoned power plant. It might even have been running, but it was crazy. We went all the way down, it felt like we went like a mile down to the core, but we all had to wear hard hats. So we had some pretty funny names on those hard hats, you know, like as you would if you were in elementary school. I don't even know if like Mike Hunt or, you know, I mean, just funny stuff like that. So that was kind of a really fun time. Anytime we'd go on location, it was a blast, just a blast. Because we were just all, I feel like we were all just kids then. And in many ways, we were, even though we were in our 30s, it just, you know, we worked so many hours together and everybody genuinely liked each other. I mean, I'm still friends with most of those people. And so that's kind of incredible to be on a show like that.
That was fun. The Unnatural was fun. David wasn't really in that one, and neither was Gillian. So I had my job that David decided to give everybody a really cool
men's baseball shirt, which was really nice. And then we had all their names put on the back. Everyone got an individual shirt. That was a wrap gift. But The Unnatural was good. I was so proud of him for doing all that. I mean, that was a really fun episode. So was Hollywood AD or Hollywood director. I forget the name of it. What was it? AD. Yeah. That was a blast because I was dressing Gary Shandling, who's a dear friend, and Taya to look like Motor and Scully. That was a blast. Another really hard, challenging one was the Queen Mary. It was a Nazi episode way back when. I want to say that might have even been the first season back here. I don't remember.
It was season 6. So yeah, first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was hard. It's really hard. When he was jumping in the water, or his stunt double was, you know. So there's always those challenges whenever you're doing a show when somebody's wet that you have to get them wet, you know, spray them down and make sure they look good. One day we were doing an episode way out in Borrego Springs with Kim Manners, who was our favorite director, who passed on, and David had to lay in on the ground for a while. So I had the special effects guys. We got a float, an inflatable float, filled it with water and froze it, buried that in the ground, put dirt over it, so he laid on. I mean, it was 129 degrees where we were. We were in the desert. So that was kind of interesting. Kept him cool. Oh, God. Then there was the snake episode. I'm petrified of snakes. So Kim Manners, all of a sudden, Kim yells, goes, go in there and add some blood to the collar. So I'm in there, and there's snake wranglers all around David. And I'm trying to do these little bites. So it looked like, you know, snake bit him. And I turn around, and all these guys had all these snakes that were just kind of just like withering out of their arms. And I was pretty creeped out about that because I'm petrified of snakes. David didn't even flinch. I mean, we had sutured their mouths shut. So, but what if one of the sutures came loose? I mean, they were like everywhere. He's so brave. I don't know how he did that. And then the beast scene was kind of interesting on the first movie. Yeah, it was disgusting. I hate snakes. But then you start going down that rabbit hole and you look at all those people that really did that, you know, really do that with the snake worshipers. And that was fun. That's what's fun about all the episodes is you get one and then next thing you want to know everything about it. So you're doing your own research. And it was a little trickier then because the internet wasn't as readily available. So just their minds and stuff, these guys, it was always nice talking to the writers, what Vince Gilligan wanted or Chris Carter, you know, or all that was kind of really special and great because just the backstory on most of the episodes that we did were pretty incredible.
And you actually made me think of something. It started to say the bees. You said you worked on the first movie. Were you involved when they had to have Scully, that bee walk her back collar?
I love Scully. Yeah, I was there for that for sure. I'm trying to recall. Yeah, we were all there. It was funny because the bees had a break every day. They got tired between like 3 and 7 or something.
Working on the movie, so X-Files, everything is just taken off. There's a movie. Like, how exciting was it to be part of this? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was really great. That's when I got introduced to, because I just worked with David on Playing God, and that's when I got introduced to the whole gang, and it was really incredible. We had these very exciting sets that were built down on the lower stages at Fox, and ginormous sets where we brought in air conditioning units to keep them cold because they wanted to see the smoke, you know, coming from the breath. But I mean, and then the art department did an incredible job. There were all these aliens. Scully was in one of them in one of the pods, and it was pretty incredible. I'll never forget when we were in Bakersfield and we were trying to get these swooping helicopter shots, and they felt like they came pretty low and just everything just wiped out, like all the corn. We were in a cornfield. So that's a vivid memory, which was pretty incredible. Keeping the guys cool. We had a lot of guys in hazmat suits, and we were shooting in the desert, and they all come equipped with air. So that was interesting to keep them all in check and good. And it was great to see all the characters because the well-manicured man was there, and of course the cigarette-smoking man, and then the dark-haired man, who I always loved because he had gray hair, but he was known as the dark-haired man. But it was just kind of great, like we were in downtown LA, and we were up on a roof at one point, and they were running around up there, and that was pretty hot and fun at the same time, and adding sweat to David, and I think Chris Carter was helping me do that so we could get the shot, which is always great when the director comes in and helps, and then they know what they want, or but no, it's great. Both of the movies were great. I loved the second one. We got out. We were off of Californication and we zipped up there, and it was during the writer's strike, and we were already written, so we could do our movie. I made David go see The Bucket List with me, and he was all bored. And it was the day of the Golden Globes, so we leave, and I found out that he went, and he could hear me running down the hallway to knock on his door, tell him that he won his Golden Globe. But that was really fun. Our locations there were beautiful. The first night, it was actually colder in Vancouver than it was in Whistler, believe it or not. I think maybe because the insulation from the snow kept it warmer. But there was a night when David was chasing Callum, and first Callum pulled a groin, and then David pulled a groin. So we have these two guys with pulled groins in the cold, in the rain, on the city streets in Vancouver. It was hilarious. Not good. But it was funny. And Callum came and did Californication with us.
Yes.
Which was great. So that was really fun. I mean, just the logistics of where it was beautiful, and the second movie, and the cast was incredible. Amanda Peet was just divine. And we already talked about Exhibit. I don't know what all he told you about at the airport, but I won't get into that. Maybe we'll do that on the sidebar. But it was hilarious. It was like, and how cute is he? I mean, just
so sweet. Yeah. So sweet, adorable. He was in his car at the beach when he talked to us. It's like, hey, I'm up in Malibu, and but I want to chat with you guys. He was so sweet. So was Billy. Billy was. We were having.
I'm so glad Billy was. Oh, I went to go see him in Marty. I went to see him in San Francisco, his show, right afterwards, and that was kind of incredible. He's great. We've had, Billie Eilish's mom did a bit part on the X-Files.
It's so funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. Billie's mom, I forget, it was a while ago, but it was in L.A.
Huh.
She's an actress.
I didn't know that. We'll have to look into that. Thank you.
She had a good part, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we had some great. I mean, all of it was just fun. I remember maybe working sometimes. We were out at the Disney Ranch, and it was like 5 a.m. We were trying to get this one shot, and the roosters were up. So they were howling, and nothing we could do because we were up all night. So, but
it sounds like so much fun.
It really was, and I loved all the challenges. I loved all adding blood or dirt or. Just pulling stuff out of your, what to get it done. And on the second X-Files movie, they wanted David to drag this guy. I'm like, okay. So we came up with a device where we cut up a sled, kind of plastic sheet, and sewed it on the bottom of his jacket so he could just glide him. So, all those kinds of things are really fun. They really are.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Tom said when we spoke to Tom Cummins, he said the same thing. Like, it was so much fun doing all those little things, and you become attuned to things that you wouldn't necessarily be attuned to.
No, you were constantly pulling stuff out of your ass to just it was kind of incredible, just really just troubleshooting right on the spot. And Tom was just one of those guys that he's very smart, and he knew every script frontwards and backwards and sideways and upside down. So no matter what was going on if we were doing, sometimes there would be an episode in seasons where episode 2 was following us all the way to the end because we needed this one little shot in the elevator. And he would remember exactly what those people were wearing in that elevator. I mean, it was kind of uncanny. Oh, I lost my light. And I'm trying to think of some other really good episodes that were. I mean, God, it was just so much fun. We'd be so tired, like you'd be driving home and you didn't even know if you're gonna make it home because it's like a Friday night, and I mean, it wasn't Bob the Banker. It was the X-Files. So it was a lot of nights, a lot of that smoke, but we had just the best crew. I mean, and I love the cast and all the writers, and Chris Carter was great. I mean, it was very special time. It really was. I miss it.
We have 2 more X-Files questions for you, and we ask these of everybody on the X-Files that we've had the pleasure of speaking with. The first one is, why do you think the show is still so relevant 27, almost 28 years later?
Well, for one thing, there's some UFO spottings, right? I don't know. I mean, I just think it was really well written, suspenseful, great acting, and I think that's why. I mean, whenever I say I work on that, everyone's just like, they love the show, no matter what it feels like. Or some say they were too scared, but I think it's relevant because of the writing and the acting, and we're still not out of the woods with the UFOs. I think they're still out there. Trust no one.
If you could say something to the fans of the last 27 plus years, what would it be?
Thanks for being so loyal and understanding this amazing storytelling that we were trying to do, and know that the part that I was on, which was the last 5 years, was blood, sweat, and tears from a crew that really loved their job, and from producers that really treated us well, and that's it.